I kind of faked it. I'm like, come on, let's go, right? The tonality, all that stuff. Off we went, straight into the club. And when I hit the club, first thing I did was I was like, all right, I've got to hit up the hottest girl in here straight away. All right, this is what's going to make this guy just, I want to make, my goal wasn't so much the girl at that time, it was like, I'm going to make this guy's eyes roll into the back of his head. All right, I just wanted this guy to be like, oh, holy shit. All right, so that was my little goal. So I'm walking in, I'm like, bang, straight away, there she is. Over I go. Straight in, hey, what's up? I'm Tim. Cool, yeah, vibes, all good. And then he's looking back and he's like, oh, he's going to make me do this now. Looked over and I'm like, yep, now I've got him. Good. So now I can proceed. So you get one little moment with a girl, with a guy, with anything to make a first impression. And I feel like the first impression that you need to make as a dude on your, what is it? What's everyone doing this morning? On your what? Quest. All right. On everyone on their quest, the first little toolbox, first little thing in your tools is the whole entering with boldness. Now, I was talking with Brad Branson, who's going to be talking with you guys on Sunday. He's staying at my joint at the moment. And we were laughing. We just hit the gym last night. We're walking back. And he's like, yeah, man, it's like, I feel like a tiger or something now, you know? I need to eat some food. And I'm like, yeah, that's it. That's it, man. Tiger. I'm like thinking tiger. And I was like, I came up with a little story and a little analogy of like, say we were back in like caveman days or whatever. And, you know, everyone relates stuff back to like the ancestor past and, you know, being alpha, and if a tiger had to come eat you, you know, you'd have to be able to handle that sort of situation. So this little image in my mind came of like an African tribe. And say you're in a little tribe and you're a man in this tribe, and sure enough, the big ass white fucking tiger comes to eat everyone, okay? Boldness is the man that kind of laughs at the little tiger, runs over at the tiger, grabs it by the neck, shoves its head in the ground, and then looks at all the other tribes and like, yes, this, I'm handling my shit right here, right? That's boldness, okay? Can you all sort of picture that in your little head? The tiger forcing that shit down, okay? Wrestling it to the ground. That's the sort of shit as dudes that excites us. That's the James Bond stuff. That's why we're all attracted and we're kind of like the mini James Bond stuff, is because that's the stuff that, like, you know, feeds our soul, I guess. Excited. Now, you don't need to go down and chase a tiger or whatever. Right? I'm not saying that. But that's the sort of stuff. Boldness, stuff that scares you, doing that sort of stuff really helps. So that's number one. Second one in your little toolbox of quest is passion, okay? Now, that word gets thrown around all the time. You're like, oh, passion, right? But passion is that, to me, passion is that little tiny voice inside. It's that little, I guess, the little one that says you're meant to do more things. It's the one that tells you your calling. It's the one, you know, when you go to bed at night and just before you go to sleep, you sort of dream about what your life would be like. That's the little voice. That's the little voice of passion. It's the little voice inside. And sadly, a lot of guys, I would call them Bobs, all right? Let's just call them Bobs, for example. So Bob, he wakes up every day and he's like, oh, I've got to go to work in my bank job, whatever it is, and he strolls to his bank job, but in the back of his mind, he has a version of himself that's this like rock star, like going out, partying, or like getting a great girl, or, you know, chasing down tigers, or whatever it is. Hands up if you feel like you've got parallel versions of yourself inside. Like there's the one guy who you know that can smash it, there's the one guy that you can step up and take over, and then there's the other guy who's kind of like the real life that you're living. Well, I think everyone has those two versions, and I think the real version is the one inside, usually, and that's the one that we need to bring out. So with Bob and with passion, okay, like for example, who's like seen a cute girl across the room and immediately lit up inside, right? Just like, holy shit, you know, like that little feeling, like that, oh, I need to do something about this. That's the passion. That's where it comes from. That's the little voice that we need to listen to. And I'm going to go into some little stories regarding that. But the third thing in the toolbox, the third little thing in the toolbox that we need is will, okay, will. All right, so the first two are useless without will and being able to exert your will. So will, as a dude, is being able to sit there for long periods of time, long-ass periods of time, and get through the work that you need to get done. Or will is like going to the gym 6 days a week, and you're going to hear from some good speakers on health and nutrition and all that sort of stuff. But that's the third thing, will, being able to do that. Hands up if you have a little bit of trouble with focus and discipline and those types of things. Sure. So we're going to go for a trip, just during this speech, we're going to go for a little bit of a trip down, I guess, my quest memory lane, and I'm going to be demonstrating through a few different stories those three little elements. Sound cool? Yeah. Okay, excellent. So 3 elements to a quest. All right, let's get back on the quest train for a little bit. All right, so there's 3 elements to a quest. You might be like, Tim, how do I know? How do I know if I need a quest? How do I know if I'm on a quest? All right, how do I know? 3 things. Number 1, you're like, how do I know if I'm on a quest? Number 1, as we've discussed, it may involve a hot lady, okay? Quest, may involve just a hot chick. Number 2, second thing that the quest may involve. The quest may involve money raining from the sky. So you've got money in your bank account to do whatever the hell you want. Right, that's the second thing on the quest that it may involve, like going after coin. And the third thing that's generally involved in any quest that you will ever try and undertake, the third thing is tears. Okay, tears, little tears. Not just little tears, obnoxious crying and tears and sadness. If your quest is good enough, there will be hurt, okay? If your quest is good enough. For example, the relationships thing. You walk into a club, it's like tough, right? Sometimes, like when you're trying to approach or thinking about approaching, it's like there's some hurt inside. There's definitely some hurt. And this is where, I guess, the tools come in and they help these 3 things. So let's go through each of these 3 things and how my little quest started. So my quest began at the ripe old age of, I guess, 18, I would say. And not that good with girls at all. That's all I was worried about at that stage. Not generally the most social guy in high school or whatever, not the coolest guy. I somehow managed to get this girlfriend, okay? She was in my karate class. I was into karate. I know, that's another story. Somehow managed to get this girl in my karate class. So the thing about this girl is she was not very attractive. She was actually, you would say, obese, and just not very smart, just totally like the opposite of what you would want out of a girl at all. So landed this girlfriend, but to me inside, I was like, yay, I have a girlfriend, my life's complete. Hands up if you've had one of those girlfriends before. Okay, it doesn't have to be fat or whatever, but you're like, yay, my life's complete, my life's like the movies, yay, right? So I got this girl, I was all excited, so I'd bring her flowers all the time, I'd pick her up from work all the time, I'd drive across borders all the time, pick her up. I would do absolutely anything. I'd text 6, 7 times a day, love you, baby, all that sort of stuff. Doing that flat out, all right? Then, so this went on for a good few months. Maybe had sex 3 or 4 times during that period. I thought it was amazing. Wow. Okay. And then I go around to her house one night. I remember this massively. It left a huge scar. Went around to her house one night and knock on the door, and her dad's like, oh no, she's at the party. What, didn't you know that she was going to the party? I said, no, I didn't know anything about party. Anyway, and he's like, yeah, it's a few doors down. I'm like, okay, party, right. This is, I got that sinking feeling in my stomach because my special flower didn't tell me about the party. All right. So off I walk down to this party, and I go down the side, I hear the music blaring outside, and I hear it pumping. Walk around, I look, and there she is on like this lie back thing near the pool, making out with some dude. And I'm like, there's, the sinking feeling of doom, massively. Hands up who's had like a sinking feeling of doom experience with a chick, yeah. Right, so the sinking feeling of doom, and then, so instead of, I didn't know how to do this at this stage, attacking the tiger or whatever, I kind of just sank and then turned around and it was seriously like a movie, the sad music playing, and went home, and that's when the tears come in, right? there was tears, there was sadness. I'm an 18-year-old man, for God's sake, and this is what's happening. This girl's like ripped me to pieces. Fat, unattractive, not very special girl that I'd fallen in love with or I'd chosen to fall in love with.